Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a little bit of a look at some news, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a whole bunch of news we need to be having a chat about, but I want to start off having a look at the first special art rares that we have looked at from the upcoming Crown Zenith expansion, and this is pretty important. I've shown you the artwork rares recently, and let's take Bibarel as an example, because Bibarel is one of the two best artwork rares in the set. Yes, I mean that sincerely. And there is one gigantic difference between the Japanese version of this card and the English version of this card. And that difference is the horrible, ugly yellow border. It's not fun, ladies and gentlemen. It's not fun. So what do we do instead then? Well, nothing. The good news is we have got confirmation that the yellow borders are going away. As I've said before, this is the final set that will actually feature these horrible yellow borders as of Scarlet and Violet, which will be the next set after Crown Zenith. This is the last Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet is, shockingly enough, the first Scarlet and Violet. We will be moving to these lovely silver borders. Life will be good. But it kind of ruined it a little bit. Well, wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to the special art rares, no such worry. If we start off with Leafeon, shout out to the lovely Primal Luger who helped me grab these images, we can see here that the card is basically identical to the Japanese version. Now, unfortunately, what we cannot see from either the Japanese or the English image here, we cannot see the texturing, the real detailing on the card, outside of the picture. I wish we could. We can't. And sometimes we do see differences between the English and Japanese versions of cards in that respect. Nothing I can really do about that, if I'm honest with you. But do please just bear that in mind. There might be a bit of a difference. Like with most things, the Japanese cards tend to be a little bit cooler and a little bit better. But the good news is, because these secret rares never actually had the yellow borders to begin with, it's not something, even bearing in mind we get the yellow borders over here, it's never something we've really had, on the secret rares at least, so they were never going to be the case over here, and that means we get the full beauty of the card. And it is just Leafeon V-Star. It's that lovely card that lets you switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active, or, choose one of their bench, switch it with their active. I've always considered this to be a very good card. I've always figured this was going to see a bit of play. The thing I really like about this card is the fact that it just sits there on your bench and it's gusting whenever you need it. Compare it to something like Umbreon V Max, for instance, where it's kind of, you have to draw into Umbreon at the right time, because it's a when you evolve skill, and if you don't draw Umbreon at the right time, then you don't get the gusting and you lose the game. Here, you put it on your bench, and if your opponent doesn't ability lock you, when you need the gusting, you've got the gusting. Never saw a huge amount of play, and that makes me a little bit sad. What does not make me sad? This artwork, ladies and gentlemen. This artwork is stunning. But maybe not as good as Glaceon. Even in the context of these special art rares, and let's be clear, all of these special art rares are just beyond stunning in terms of their artwork. Even in the context of the special art rares, this is a particularly good special art rare. A bit of a shame there's a bit of glare on the picture, so you can't necessarily see it in all of its glory, but I've got the Japanese version of the card on the screen here, right next to it. And it's the same card. No horrible, ugly yellow border, just lovely Glaceon. This one, again, like Leafeon, it did have a V-Star power, which did seem to be like it's got a slight bit of potential here. Free energy, 220, and makes you immune to effective attacks next turn, including damage. But, although damage is not an effect, so it's really damage and effects. But the real problem here is that your opponent can just attack your bench instead. And if they attack your bench, you've used your V-Star power to free energy 220. It's not very good now, is it? If we're honest. So unfortunately, we end up in this situation where it's never seen a huge amount of play. Maybe it will one day, but I'm just delighted that we've now seen a couple of these special art rares. We've had confirmation of exactly what they look like, and as expected, to be fair, they are just like they are over in Japan, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. The art rares, let's be honest with you, we're taking a hit. We are taking a hit. But at least we got this, ladies and gentlemen. At least we've got this. And while we're here, I've got something else. Something that, frankly, you should be a little bit jealous of. Because you know how we are just heading into Scarlet and Violet now? And actually, as it turns out, there is exactly one Scarlet and Violet card which has been released. It is, in fact, the promo number 1, with Pikachu and the first partner Pokemon outside your house over in Paldea. Yay, next to Poco Path. It's all rather lovely. Well, there was an equivalent one of those. Right back when we saw the release of Sword and Shield, it looked like this. It was a lovely card. Well, it's coming out in Korea. And I know your reaction at this stage, probably, because it's probably fairly similar to my reaction. And the reaction essentially is, well, hang on a second. What? What year is this? How is that promo coming out now? And the answer is, don't really know, don't really care. There is an event going on over in Korea right now at the moment. And there is a participation prize. Yeah, that's right. A participation prize, which is this. This Pikachu promo, this wonderful, amazing promo, is literally being given away as a participation prize over at this event. And that is, frankly, absolutely ridiculous. Now, for us, we had it with the Sword and Shield figure collection. And there was a decently long period of time where you could get this at or just below retail. And people didn't. Oh, I mean, some people did. A bunch of people didn't. Try getting it below retail now. I dare you. And to take some of the suspense away, what we can do is just go have a little bit of a look over on eBay. At exactly how much people are paying for this right now. It's not $20 anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It's about $100. The top two things we've got here are 100 and 120. Though the 120 is sponsored, so, maybe save $20 and don't give in to the person who paid to have their results put a little bit higher. Putting that out there. So, yeah, this one is unfortunately gone. So when you're bearing in mind this is in a product which is now $100 for us, and over in Korea you just kind of rock up and they're like, oh, hi. Oh, you made it. That's awesome. Have this promo. I think it's fair to believe we're going to be a little bit jealous. But there is actually some more stuff going on. There is a deck box with the Let's Play logo. That is, of course, like the whole tournament thing they've got going on. That's rather lovely. And you can go and get yourself Paradigm Trigger with the promo packs. They've got the Charizard VMAX or V-Star versus Rayquaza VMAX deck, the one that released in Japan a little while ago. They've got a bunch of fun things going on. And this, the Brilliant Holidays playmat. Now, I have told you guys a bunch of times that Korea just has cool stuff. Is it as cool as the stuff in Japan? Maybe not. Is it cool than what we got over here? I mean, most of the time, yeah. Honestly, check out this amazing playmat. And let's not forget the Ditto playmat. Love the Ditto playmat. And now they've got this, which is better than anything I've already shown you. It's a Christmas playmat. And maybe it's just me, but I really, 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 really love Christmas-themed accessories at Christmas. And maybe I'm just a little bit easily pleased. I don't really care, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. When I'm playing a trading card game at Christmas, I really love having a Christmas-themed playmat. And we don't get many of them. There hasn't been one released in Japan this year, at least not that I've seen, and I tend to check. There's not been one released in the West this year, again, at least that I've seen. But there absolutely has been one over here, and it's just beautiful, I'd say over here in Korea, and wonderful and lovely and brilliant, and I want it, ladies and gentlemen. I want it. Am I going to be able to find it? Probably not, honestly. I don't think it's going to be particularly easy to get hold of, and I'm probably not going to be able to find it that easily, and I don't even really care. I just think it's brilliant, and I want it, and it's amazing. I think I'm making my feelings about this quite clear at this stage, ladies and gentlemen. quite clear indeed. So yeah, fun times. I don't know if I can get myself over to Korea to pick one of these up. I rather suspect that I can't. But you know what? Just knowing that this is out there and some people are getting it, I'd rather one of those people was me, honestly. But it's still really rather cool. So we've got confirmation that the special art rares are looking just as good as we were hoping. And we've got this lovely stuff going over in Korea, and I, for one, am delighted. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and have a lovely chat with us. And you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's been one of our supporters since the very, very early days of the podcast and is a very, very lovely person indeed. So thank you to Martin for the support and for being a lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.